The housing market is going crazy right now. Where should you be looking if you're a buyer that you probably couldn't have bought during the pandemic or even at the beginning of the year? So over the past few years, we have seen historically low inventory. We've seen multiple offers and people waiving just about everything in the contract just so that they can secure the house. But now inventory is starting to rise, which everyone is talking about. This is giving buyers an advantage. Buyers can now get back to negotiating for a lower price, but that's not all. They can also start negotiating back those terms that they need. And this is what I'm seeing with my buyers when we're out writing offers and getting them under contract. So I just want to be really clear. So this is not the right time for everyone to buy. I know everyone's going to say you're a real estate agent. This is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get everybody to buy right now, which is the absolute opposite. It is not the right time for everyone to buy. However, there are certain areas within the valley that are softening on prices a little bit more, and some more affordable homes are kind of coming back in. So you do have an option if you are a buyer, if it is the right time for you to buy, to take advantage of this. But before you go light me up in the comments, just know I am not telling everyone to go buy right now. It's not the right time for everyone. So let's talk about a few zip codes that you probably could not have even bought in 6 or 7 months ago. And make sure you stick around to the end because the last one was really surprising to me. And if you think I've missed any, make sure you put them down in the comments below. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is 85258. And the majority of 85258 encompasses McCormick Ranch. But it's also Gainey Ranch and Scottsdale Ranch and a few other little communities right there in that same zip code. Now, the overall location of 85258 is a perfect location, and it's one of the reasons people love it so much. One of the other reasons is how lush the landscaping is there. There are lots of really mature trees and a lot of grass. You will see palm trees in this location, where in North Scottsdale, we don't have palm trees. The reality is that here, it doesn't always feel like the desert. You also have a great green belt that runs all the way through this community. Could even take you all the way down to Tempe if you wanted to for biking, walking, whatever you'd like to do outside. You also have great dining and shopping right nearby and a lot of golf. And because of the easy access to the 101, you can get to many places really quickly from this 85258 zip code. You also have great schools, whether it be public, private, or charter. So right now, there are 164 homes on the market, and 85 of those are single-family homes. Now, this is significantly higher than it has been for the last 2 years. The price ranges in this zip code currently range anywhere from $300,000 all the way to $2.5 million. So the average sales price from the beginning of the year to May, which was our peak, was about $1.2 million. And from May until now, it is still $1.2 million, but here's the difference. The first half of the year, the list price to sales price ratio was 103%, and now it's 97%. And a few of the homes sold recently have seen a $200,000 or $300,000 price deduction before they got a sale. And the average size home in here is about 2,600 square feet. Okay, so I wanted to take you in and show you just a couple houses that are very similar to what we talked about as far as the average price point. So here's two houses in this McCormick Ranch area. And you can see this one's already been reduced one time. The other one is right at that $1.2 million price point. Again, we're looking at the 2,700 square foot, which is very similar. So let's just take a look at a couple of these photos. So you can see right away, very, very ranch style when you start thinking about McCormick Ranch style homes, right? Lots of green grass, lots of palm trees. As we scroll through, I just want to show you a couple things that are pretty similar in here. This is a little bit of a vaulted ceiling. You won't see that everywhere in this area, but what you will see, I'll come back to these. What you will see is sometimes you'll see these sunken living rooms that you see right here. It was really normal when they were building these houses in this time period to have that sunken in living room. As you see these homes start to kind of turn over and people doing huge remodels, you'll start seeing those filled in. But it's not unusual to see sunken living rooms in these areas. And I'm just going to go back because this backyard it's huge for this area. Very lush, lots of green, pool, and again, those palm trees. And that's one of the things people love about McCormick Ranch. Now let's take a look at this other one. That one, by the way, that one was in McCormick Ranch. This one is actually in Scottsdale Ranch, one of the other communities we talked about. So you'll start to see 2-story houses, a little bit smaller lot, same price point, but you'll see the square footage goes up to 3,200 square feet. So we'll take a look at these pictures just for a second. Again, very, very lush here. So here is kind of that Scottsdale Ranch house, right? So they started to get into that open great room concept versus the compartmentalized homes that we saw in McCormick Ranch. And things just really started to get opened up. Okay, and then here's the backyard. So smaller lot, a little bit tighter, but you still do have some space. But I know in some of these pictures, as I click through them, it looks a little bit bigger than it is. I guarantee when I go there, it's going to feel a little bit tighter. But all in all, it's a great house. So the second zip code that you really should look into is 85085. And this is that Norterra area up in North Phoenix. Now, this area is really close to the I-17 and Carefree Highway, so you can get to a lot of different places really quickly from this location. Now, much of this neighborhood started in 2015, and it has exploded from there, with new construction still happening to this day. Now, some of the bigger communities that are in this zip code are Fireside at Norterra, Dynamite Mountain, Copperleaf, Union Park, and Sonoran Foothills. Now, these communities have a really wide range of not only home sizes, but home prices, which has made it really appealing to so many different buyers. People moved to this area because it was new construction, but really they did it because when they started, some of these homes were a lot more affordable than some of the other areas. And for some of these communities, the amenities are top notch, which is another big draw for people buying in this area. Now, currently, there are about 124 homes on the market in this zip code, and the price ranges are anywhere from about $360,000 to $2.7 million. And the average sales price at the beginning of the year in this zip code was $740,000, and they were selling list price to sales price at 102%. And now the average sales price is $730,000, and we're seeing about a 99% list to sales price ratio. And as far as the size home that we're seeing sell in this area, we're seeing anywhere from about 2,500 square feet to about 2,700 square feet. So now I want to show you just a few houses in that 85085 area that are very similar in the prices for that average. But one thing to really note about this area is that this is that area, like I said, we've got a lot of new construction still going on. So you're going to be, as a resale, in direct competition with some of these brand new construction homes, which are offering all of these incentives. So this is one of the reasons why I say look into this area if you're looking at a resale home, because you might have some leverage there. So here again, we're at 700,000. It's a little bit lower, but it's very similar. We're at 3,000 square feet again, so a little bit bigger. But as you can see from the photos, this home has been redone. It's really pretty, light and bright, which is what a lot of people are looking for. And this is the style in this neighborhood. They really kind of turned houses to utilize the lot to the best of their ability, because these lots here in this area, they're not huge. Again, most of these homes you're going to find in here, just to get that square footage, you are going to find 2 stories with usually the master bedroom up. And so here's what I mean by a little bit smaller lot. So there's plenty of space out here. They don't have a pool on this one, but you can see it's a lot smaller than what we saw in McCormick Ranch. So the third zip code you really should look into is 85331, and this is Cave Creek. Now this is north of Phoenix and borders Scottsdale and Carefree. Now, this is an area that people will gravitate towards if they're looking for a larger piece of land, like an acre plus, that they want to have horses and maybe some other animals. Cave Creek proper, which you'll hear me call it that, that's the area that has those larger lots. Now, the other piece of Cave Creek has more small lots and more production type homes, more of the normal subdivisions that we have here in Phoenix, but their amenities are out of this world. So one of the things that really draws people to the Cave Creek area is downtown Cave Creek, because of the Western downtown feel. It is the cutest thing you've ever seen. The plus side to it as well is all the amazing shops and restaurants that they have right there. So right now, there are 166 homes currently on the market, which is a lot more than there used to be. So you have a lot bigger selection. The prices are ranging anywhere from about $500,000 to $5.7 million. At the beginning of the year, the average sales price was a little over $1 million, and they were selling at 102% of list price to sales price. And now the average home is selling for $975,000, and it is at a ratio of 98%. And just to give you again an idea on the size of the homes in here, they're about 26 to 2,700 square feet on the average. So let's take a look at a couple houses in the Cave Creek area, just so you can get a feel for them. So this first one we're going to look at is in what I consider not Cave Creek proper. It's in a subdivision called Lone Mountain. Beautiful subdivision, tons of views, lots of different amenities within the community. Starting at price point right now, they're listed at $995. 2,600 square feet. And you can see, I'll get to the photos here. You can see it is on a wash, which they do have a lot of wash lots in there. This is looking towards Black Mountain. That's what that is right there. Does not have a pool, but a really nice size yard. Not too big, not too small. Again, these homes, the time that they were built, they are a little bit newer of a subdivision. So they did these nice big great rooms, which everybody really, really loved. So then the other one I want to just take a look at is in actually Cave Creek proper. This is at Galloway Ridge, which is a little subdivision that's literally right off of the downtown area in Cave Creek. So great location. It's just going to be a lot smaller lot. And the house is going to be comparable somewhat at 2,200 square feet, but your still price point, you're going to be at $995. So now the one thing about this Galloway Ridge is that they really are closing everything out. I think there's another one on the market right now that's never been lived in. This one looks like it has been lived in, but maybe 6 months to a year. They did a great job. I actually had clients looking at these and they were really well done. Lots of customization options, but you do have some garage, kind of some tricky garages in some of the places. But again, you have that big, great room, big kitchen, just very small yard. Now, the fourth area you should look into is 85257. Now, this is considered South Scottsdale and sits right on the border of Tempe. Now, the homes in this area are older, and there are quite a few condos and townhomes in this area, which has always made this section of Scottsdale usually the most affordable. Now, over the past few years, this neighborhood has really gone through a transformation. We've seen a lot of flippers buy homes here, remodel them, and put them back on the market. And we've seen a lot of people buy these for short-term rentals. People love this area because it is such an easy central location. It's close to Old Town Scottsdale. It's close to Tempe. It's really close to the airport and a ton of shopping and dining. Now, because of what I said, how investors bought these and turned them into short-term rentals, this is one of the reasons we've seen more inventory come on in this location. Some of these short-term rental owners have decided not to be short-term rental owners anymore. So we have seen more inventory come on the market. The good news about this area is a lot of these homes have been remodeled, so they are really cute. So currently in this zip code, there are 95 single-family homes on the market. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is exponentially higher than what we saw even at the beginning of this year. Now, currently the price ranges in this zip code are anywhere from about $250,000 to $1.2 million. And the average sales price at the beginning of this year was $699,000, selling at 104% of the list price. And now it's $674,000, selling at 97% of the list price. Now, the average size home that's selling in here at these prices is about 1,600 to 1,700 square feet. Now, I know that sounds really small, but just keep in mind the year that these homes were built. So let's take a look at a few of the homes in that 85257 area. Again, the average sales price, just to give you a feel for what these look like. Again, this is 1,800 square feet. It's a little bit bigger at $679,000. We've got another one that's at $675,000. This one's at 1,400 square feet. Sometimes you'll see, I'm going to get to this photo so you can see. Sometimes you'll see in this area, there are no garages. There's a lot of homes in here. The time that these were built, they just didn't put garages in. If they've been remodeled and flipped, sometimes they have enclosed these garage carports and made the garages. But don't be surprised if you look in here and there's just no garage. But as you can see here, when these homes are remodeled, they really do a great job. Sometimes they do take down walls because, again, the time that these were built, they could feel a little bit compartmentalized. So this house was likely had some walls taken down, so that really opened up the kitchen great room. So some other things you will likely see on a lot of these homes here are things just like this. Now, this probably was a covered patio that they enclosed to utilize more space. That's why this house went up into that 1,800 square feet. Again, here's another space that looks like it maybe was enclosed, and now it's a utilized space that looks like they use it as storage, an office, work from home, right? Had to find a place to work. Now, the fifth area you really should look into is 85251, and this one shocked me. Why? Because this area has been on fire over the last 2 years. This is that zip code that has a portion of the Arcadia area in it, as well as an area in South Scottsdale that is extremely desirable. These are two very sought after neighborhoods. And for the last 2 years, it was hard to find a house that lasted longer than just a few minutes. So one of the reasons that this is such a desirable place to be is that it's very well established. These homes and these neighborhoods have been around forever. Now, the homes in the Arcadia piece of this zip code are going to be larger lots and larger homes. And people love this location because it's close to so much. You are minutes away from Scottsdale Fashion Square, and you're also very close to the Biltmore, which is the financial district here in the Phoenix area. So if you work in that field, you're going to be really close to work. Now, this zip code, just like the 85257 zip code, saw a lot of investors purchase these homes for either flipping the house or turning them into short-term rentals. And just like we talked about in the other zip code, many of those homes are coming back on the market, giving some people an opportunity to get into the zip code. Now, the schools in this area are great schools, and some of them are actually full. So when it comes to our open enrollment, for these schools, you actually have to live in the district. So if this is a school that you really want, you will have to find a house to buy so that your kids can actually go to this school. So right now in this zip code, there are 60 homes for sale. Now, I know you're probably saying, that does not sound like a lot. When I tell you this is probably triple the amount that was on the market at the beginning of this year, if you weren't looking in the market, you'll be shocked, but I promise you it is about triple or more. And the price ranges in this zip code are going to start at about $560,000 and go all the way to about $7 million. Now, the average sales price at the beginning of this year was about $1.2 million, and they were selling at about 103% of their list price. And now the average sale right now is also $1.2 million, but here's why it's different. They're now selling at 97% of the list price. This is showing some softening in this area and in the ability to negotiate on price. And the average square footage of homes selling in this area are about 21 to 2,200 square feet. Okay, so I wanted to show you a few of the houses in that 85251 area as we were talking about average prices, average square foot, and how it pertains to what is on the market now. So you can see this house right here is a little over $1 million. We're at 1,800 square feet. Let's take a look at a few pictures. So as you can see, these homes have been remodeled. They're really cute. They're adding like this cute little fence in the front, doing really great things to add some character to the houses. Now, one of the things like you'll see here, just like we talked about in 85257, you will not always see garages unless the house has been remodeled a lot and they have enclosed the garage. Now, this house actually has been remodeled a lot. They just chose not to enclose the garage. So let's take a look at the inside. So as you can see, like I said, totally remodeled, very contemporary, but with an industrial flair. These kinds of homes do really well in this area because it gives people just so much more character in the home. Some of these homes felt a little cookie cutter and very compartmentalized with how people used to live versus how people live now. So taking down some of these walls in these homes and really opening them up makes these homes feel a lot bigger than they were. Now, I want to just bring this to your attention too. So you can see these backyards. Great. This is all artificial turf with a great pool. But one of the things that I always talk to people about when they are looking in this area are these wires in the back. This is very normal to see in this area. The utility lines were not put underground until you got a little farther up in North Scottsdale. So this kind of thing in the South Scottsdale area, 85251, 85257, some of the other zip codes down there, this kind of wire in the back, it's very normal. So here's another house in that South Scottsdale area. We're at about $1.3 million. It's 2,400 square feet. This is in a gated community, and it was also built a little bit more recently. So you can see from the photos, the architectural style was a little bit more, it's a little bit more recent, a little bit more traditional Arizona that people would look at. But as you can see, when you get inside, it's been completely remodeled. I guarantee this is not what the house looked like before. This railing is all customized. These beams, the light fixtures, the flooring, the doors, everything has been touched. And these are the houses that people are really flocking to in these areas. Now, on a contrast, I wanted to show you the Arcadia section of this same zip code because we talked about larger lots, bigger homes, higher price point. So this one, as you can see, we're at 3,900 square feet. We are at almost 2.5, and it's just almost like a different animal here. So let's look at a few pictures. So as you can see, larger lot in this Arcadia section, like we talked about. But one of the things to note about the Arcadia section of Scottsdale and Phoenix is that some of these lots are still what we call flood irrigated, meaning that there's a time that you're going to turn on all your water, your whole yard is going to flood, and that's how you get water. It's just something to note. Some people are converting those over to so that you have sprinklers, but not all of them. So it's just something to be aware of. Now, this photo gives you a great overview of how big the lots are and how lush the landscaping is, which is one of the things that really attracts people to this area. Fruit trees, palm trees, lots of grass, lots of vegetation, and on a big lot. So this just shows you what that really looks like. So this 85251 area has a lot of different options as far as sizes and style of homes. And if this is an area that you're looking in, I would take a look at this area again because there is more option for homes to look at to buy, as well as the prices here are softening just a bit. Now, if you like this video, make sure you take a look at this one where I talk about how iBuyers are affecting our home values right now. If I can answer any questions for you, please make sure to reach out. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.